back to Magnolia Craft. I'm Megan, and today we will be making the folder inserts for our scrap and sentiment organizer. This is a part 2 video, so if you haven't seen part 1, go ahead and check our description box below. It'll be the first link for you. And anything else that I may use, I will make sure to link in the description for you as well. So let's get started. Okay, so for the folders, we're going to need 6 pieces of 8.5 by 11 white cardstock. I'm going to cut 2 pieces of 8.5 by 4 3/4 out of each piece of paper. Go ahead and save the scrap pieces off the end of these pages. We're going to use them later on in the project. Now let's score each of these in half at 4 1/4. Now I'm going to crease all of the folders on the score mark. Now that all my folders have been properly creased, I'm going to take my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper and round all of the corners. It will add a little something extra to the project, and it will make the folders easier to get in and out of the box. I'm going to use the 1/2 inch side because that's just the one I prefer. Now I'm going to go around all of the outside edges of the folders with some Distress Oxide ink in Vintage Photo. I'm not going to ink up the inside of the folders because I don't want to risk getting any ink on something I would put in there that potentially I wouldn't want to look distressed. Okay, now that I have all my folders corner rounded and inked up, I have cut 24 strips of white cardstock at 3 by 1 inches and scored them down the middle at 1/2 inch. I'm going to open up my folder, take some art glitter glue, and put a little bit of glue on one side of this hinge. Then I'm going to stick it folded side out onto the edge of the folder. And I'm going to repeat the process on the other side. Your placement of these doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure that you're not going past where the corner rounding starts, because otherwise it will stick out the bottom or the top. Now I'm going to put some more glue on the top of each of these hinges. Then I'll close my folder, press down, and now I have a little pocket that nothing will fall out of. I'm going to repeat that process on the rest of the folders. Okay guys, so this next part is completely optional, but this is why I call this project a stash buster. I went into an old Echo Park 6x6 paper pack that I bought on sale. I just have never been able to use it for a project because it's not really the style that I typically use. So instead of just keeping it in my stash, I decided to use it to cover each of the folders. So I cut down 24 pieces of the cardstock to 4.5 by 4. I corner rounded the corners and inked everything up with the Distress Oxide Vintage Photo ink. And then I'm just going to take a piece of the pattern cardstock and one of the folders and glue one piece to each side of the folder. This is a great way to use paper that I normally probably wouldn't have used, and so now it's not going to waste. I'll be able to appreciate it whenever I use this particular project. And it's not taking up room in my stash anymore. Because I had already used some of this paper pack on the box for this project, I did have to break into another 6x6 paper pack, but it's another one that I've never really had a use for, so I'm okay with using the paper for this project. I'm definitely an impulse shopper when it comes to paper. You know, you go to a discount store and you see 6x6 paper packs for a couple of bucks and you just grab them, and then you have them in your stash for who knows how long, just taking up space. This is a perfect use for stuff like that. Folders decorated and ready to put into my organizer. So I'll just go ahead and put one into each slot here. Now keep in mind, these slots definitely would fit more than one folder. So if you wanted to make extras, they would definitely fit in here. You could probably get 2 or 3 folders in each divider. So I know that I have a lot of extras left over from making all of those pieces to cover my folders. So I'm actually going to take one of these folders out. I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper that I had. I'll cut it down to about 1.5 inches by 2 inches. I'll actually go ahead and make one more while I'm at it. Gonna take my corner rounder and just round 2 of the corners on each of these strips. I'm going to go ahead and write the title of the original paper pack that those scraps came out of. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my ETG gun and just on the bottom section run a tiny strip of ETG tape. Now I'm actually going to stick my finger on those a couple of times just to get some of the stickiness off, because I want to be able to remove these once I no longer have any of that paper in there. So I'll just take that and stick it right on the front, the inside of the front of that folder. Then I'll take the scraps that I had and just stick them right in there. Then I can just go ahead and stick that right in my organizer. Ta-da! Now, I have some other ideas of things that you could keep in here to keep organized. This is a great way to start your stash of sentiments for the year. Oftentimes, I'm in the middle of making a card and I just want to have a pre-made sentiment that I can stick right on it. So Today, I'm going to take some of my scraps and stamp some sentiments on them and then make folders for each sentiment. This is Made It's All Occasions sentiment stamp set, and I go to this stamp set a lot when I need a sentiment. So I'm just gonna go through and pick some of the ones that I use most often and pre-stamp out some sentiments. I'll stamp some in black and some in color, so I always have what I need without having to make it necessarily while I'm making a card. Okay, so I've got an assortment of happy birthday sentiments. I've cut some out into flag shapes because that's a shape that I often like to use. I fussy cut some out. I could have also die cut some shapes and stamped the sentiment onto them. Anything that I think I might want to use in the near future. I saved one of the sentiments that I stamped, and just like before, I'm going to corner chomp the top two corners, take my ATG gun, and just put a little bit of ATG tape at the bottom, de-stick it a couple times, and then attach it right to the front of my folder. That way I know what sentiment is in this folder. I'll go ahead and gather up all of the things that I stamped and stick them in. Now I know I've got a happy birthday sentiment for the next time I need one. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment down below if you have any questions or any comments for me. And go ahead and make sure you subscribe to this channel so you're notified of any new videos that I will post in the future. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.